We have so we're going out this weekend. How many reservations did we make? We made the regular reservation. We made the backup reservation.
And then the drinks reservation.
The drinks reservation. The drinks backup reservation. One of the 2 drinks backup reservations, we have the early backup and the later backup.
The later backup, exactly.
So we're ready, right?
Yeah, we got like 6 reservations going.
Okay, well, we're going to go out to eat, and it will not ruin our progress because today's episode is that going out to eat will not ruin your progress, all right? So going out is a part of life. Everybody likes to do that to various extents,
Exactly.
you know. I mean, we both enjoy eating at a nice restaurant from time to time, enjoying some time with friends, with family. And this is something that a lot of people, you know, when they first start, they find it can be really hard to work that into their fitness journey.
I agree.
So why don't you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, so I remember when I first started working out, like in college, I did my best not to go out to eat at all, or even like go out with my friends in general, because I was like, oh, you know what, I'm making some good progress in the gym. Screw social events and screw these restaurants. I can make that shit at home. It's like a burger. Oh, I can make that shit at home. I'll make it a healthy burger.
Yeah.
Which is fine for like a certain like time frame, but it's not sustainable though, because the more I kind of went to just eating at home or eating healthy or whatever, or avoiding going out, the more I developed an unhealthy relationship with food. Right?
Because it's good, like, if you want to cut down on eating out because you want to save money, or you just want to live a healthier lifestyle, you don't want to do it all the time. If you're doing it like multiple times a week, potentially you could cut down. But if it's something that you do, you know, every couple of weeks, every month, and then you're saying that you get into this mode, which I definitely was in too, where you feel like, okay, I'm making good progress, you know, I just lost 5 pounds, I'm seeing some abs come in, I need to be perfect. I just got an invite. My friends have really been wanting to see me. They want to meet me at this. Nope, guys, I can't do it. And then it's like your social life, your relationships are starting to suffer.
Yeah.
But you're in the moment, you're like feeling really good about it because you're like, no, this was the right decision.
Yeah.
But okay, first of all, you probably could have gone and not had any deleterious effects on your progress, right?
Yeah.
So that's where we're going to talk about how you eat is what will ruin your progress, not necessarily like where you're eating.
Yeah.
Because or even what you're eating all the time.
Exactly, because like going out is like part of life. Like we're never gonna avoid like having dinner or catching up or having drinks with friends, birthdays, weddings, and whatnot. So it's really, this episode is really all about like focusing on your eating behavior and eating habits when you do go out to eat.
Yeah, and I have so many clients who like, there's this one client who comes to mind, and like every single week she comes into me. And I'm like, how has everything been? How's your eating been? And she goes, I had French fries last night. And she's like saying it to me like it's this terrible bad thing. I'm like, you know that you can lose weights and reach your fitness goals eating French fries, right? Not all the time, but you told me that you went out one time this whole week, and on that one night you ate French fries. Then I asked, did you feel stuffed, like you ate too much? And she's like, no, I just had a little bit. You can reach your fitness goals doing that. So we need to remember that. There should be an element of flexibility in there.
Exactly. Like sometimes when clients tell me like, oh yeah, I went out last night, I had a burger. I'll be like, oh cool, what kind?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah,
exactly.
let me know.
And that's important because they're almost expecting us to be punitive. Like, why'd you have that burger? And it's like, no, you can have that burger. Just be mindful. So that kind of goes into the first rule to follow when you go out to eat, and that's go easy on the appetizers and the desserts. So Brandon, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so obviously you can't avoid any appetizers or desserts when you go out to eat with your significant other, family, or whatever. So what you could do is, one option is either order a dessert that's shared or order an appetizer that's shared, you know, family style, leave it in the middle. All right, that's one. Or honestly, you don't have to order an appetizer at all.
You don't have to.
Like, I remember I didn't start ordering appetizers until I actually started like making a little more money after PT school. I was like, oh shit. Like with my girlfriend, I'm like, oh shit, you know what? We're out of PT school now, so you know what? We're making some money. Let's order an appetizer for each of us. No, I'm just kidding. That's a little too much. But yeah, you want to go easy on the appetizers because those are pretty dangerous, especially because a lot of appetizers on every restaurant are very starchy and they're very more carb based versus like protein based.
Sure, yeah, it's typically you're not going to have a super satiating appetizer. Usually they almost like kind of like get you going, and then before you know it, you've had your appetizer, your entree comes out. And now you've had more overall calories than if you just had that entree. Not to say you can't have an appetizer, right? But just make sure you really want one. Don't go out and feel like you have to get the appetizer.
I know, there are those people,
or you didn't experience it. Also, one quick aside, which is really funny, is like I feel like there's always the two types of groups where like there'll be like someone and they're just like, all right, like we're getting appetizers, and they just kind of assume that you're gonna pay for part of that appetizer,
I know
even
what you
if
mean.
you don't want it. And sometimes it's like I genuinely just don't want to eat the appetizer, not because I'm cheap, but it's like you better not split me with that appetizer too.
Exactly.
You know? So I get a little stingy with the appetizers.
Yeah.
There. But the next tip, which is really important, is prioritize the protein first. Now, this is because protein is going to be the most satiety-inducing. You're going to feel really full. Protein is just going to be really healthy overall, too, for building muscle, all those fitness goals. So if you prioritize your protein first, then you can say, yeah, I can eat my, chocolate cake. I can eat this mashed potato side, whatever, but you're going to feel the fullness come on sooner rather than if you just ate a bunch of the starchy stuff, the carbs, whatever, first. So that's a really good tip.
Yeah, because I noticed that every time I go out to eat, like if it's like just chicken wings, like nothing on the side, I'll definitely consume the chicken wings.
Yeah.
But then like if we want to get dessert after, I can't eat the dessert at all because I'm like, yo, this meat actually like really just helped get my appetite all the way up to like super satisfied.
But if you were just like, getting, I don't know, a bunch of like really like sugary, like if you flipped it, if you had the dessert first and then the chicken wings,
that's
you probably would be able to eat both.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you probably wouldn't feel great after
Exactly.
either.
And I would also tell my clients, like with their plate, let's say you're at a party or you're at a restaurant, you have a plate right here, you have the meat on this side, then you have the carbs on this side. What I say is at least consume a third or a half of that protein first before you even dip into those carbs.
I like that.
All right. But if like we have like those people who have to eat carbs with their protein, like rice and chicken or chicken and beans or whatever, and only have like a small amount of beans, rice or whatever, potato, whatever carb is, but the chicken that you mix with that carb has to be a little bigger, or whatever the meat that you have to mix with that carb is a little bigger, just so that protein is prioritized first.
And then another thing that I would add on to that, which helps with satiety, is prioritize the protein first, but then also make sure that you're having all of the macronutrients in that meal. So, protein, having some good fiber in that meal as well to help with digestion and satiety, and then having some vegetables, some carbohydrates. That's important as well. Make sure there's some fat in there, obviously, as well.
Exactly.
If you don't have all the macronutrients, your body, it could be fueled a little more optimally, and you just probably won't feel as full.
Yep. And now our third rule that you have to follow when you go out is focus on the social atmosphere. So when we say this, we don't mean like if you're talking with someone or you're having dinner with someone, don't focus on the food as much as the actual person you're, having
Gaze
company
into
with.
their eyes.
Gaze into their eyes. like I've been gazing at Gabe's eyes this whole podcast. No, but yeah, you want to you want to have a ongoing conversation with them as you're eating, just so you won't be over-consuming with the food. Because I've definitely been at some dinners where the dinner table is just super quiet because everyone's just eating and trying to scarf down everything. Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit, this is why we're overeating right now. Because I noticed that I eat faster and I even order more when the dinner table is super quiet. I'm like, oh shit, we haven't said anything, but I'm like 2 plates in. Mm-hmm. I'm like,
also there's this feeling of like if you go out to dinner, you don't want it to be 30 minutes. You want to have a nice long experience. And if you're scarfing everything down really fast, then you feel like I'm almost missing out on the experience. Yeah. I might as well order more so we can stay here longer. Because I hated it when you go into a dinner and then someone's just rushing to order things.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, no, I want to take my time. I want to enjoy this. That's how I like to dine. So
yeah. Actually, when I do have dinner dates with my girlfriend, I will come in hungry. Those dinner dates, hungry as fuck. Yeah. That I would actually scarf down the food before my girlfriend could even take 2 bites. Yeah. So we actually did a thing where it's I take a bite and then me and my girlfriend we talk about a topic. And then we keep having that conversation, and there's stuff that we can't, add on to that topic. Dead quiet. That's when I'm able to take a bite. So we kind of did it like that. That kind of conditioned me to take my time.
Take your time.
I am a victim. I
actually get to know your girlfriend.
I know, right? Exactly. It's after 4 years.
Yeah. What's your name again? Okay. The next tip's going to be taking leftovers home. So oftentimes I used to feel I'd go out to dinner and I'd be like, I need to eat everything on my plate because I paid money for this. And it wasn't until, honestly, maybe 3 months ago that I finally got comfortable with going, I'm full. I don't need to eat the rest of this. Let me ask for, a to-go box. Let me eat this later. and I would just feel so much better. Like my body would feel better.
Exactly.
I wouldn't feel bloated and gross, which I used to associate that with like eating out to an extent.
Yeah.
But then I realized like I can just stop. Like I'm a big guy, but that doesn't mean I have to eat this whole meal. If I only eat half of it, and maybe I had timed a meal before, kind of close to eating out and whatever, okay, I'll stop, and that's okay.
Yeah, because like I know like some people grew up in a culture where it's like if you had a sibling and you didn't grow up in like a very wealthy culture, you might see food as like a scarce thing.
Yes.
So some people could have those childhood behaviors seep into their adult eating habits. Like if let's say mom brings home pizza and then your brother's still playing video games in the room or whatever, you're gonna scarf down that pizza because that'll probably be like the last time you'll have that pizza until like a week later. So they might carry those eating behaviors through adult life. So which is why I could kind of, because a lot of my clients actually told me that.
Yeah.
Where like that's where I could see kind of a lot of people approach food like either eat it right now or never eat it at all.
Well, my parents were like that, where they would tell me, they'd be like, children are starving in Africa.
Yeah, they would say shit like that.
Like,
my mom would say shit like that.
And then I remember, I have like 2 distinct memories where like this one, I was like 5 years old, and I was like eating the soup, and I was not hungry, but also I just didn't like it.
Oh my God.
I was like, I don't want to finish this. And they were like, all right, we're going to go up and watch TV. Once you finished your soup, you can join us. And I sat there at the table for 20 minutes, and I was just like, I'm not going to eat this. And then a light bulb went off in my head, and I like went to the sink and I dumped it down the sink.
Yeah, I know, I was gonna
and
say,
I like
I
washed it down because I'm like 5 years old, so I'm like, this is a genius idea. I like washed it down, and then I joined. I'm like, yeah, I ate the rest. And then another time I remember it was tofu this time, and I hated tofu, so I went outside with the tofu and I tried to force feed it to my little brother, but he wouldn't eat it. So I dug a hole in the dirt and I hid it in the dirt. Now, obviously, this is different, right? In this situation, I just didn't want to eat it.
Yeah.
It's not like a hunger cue thing.
Yeah.
But those thoughts can come from childhood, and
Exactly.
as we get older, we think that like it's like a moral thing, like it's like morally wrong if I don't finish my food. But that's not true. It's like there's so much in America. There's plentiful food, right? For everyone. So it's not like I'm doing something wrong if I don't finish it.
Exactly. And honestly, last story I'm going to share is just because growing up, I'm a Filipino, Asian American culture right here. So my dad would always tell me that if I don't finish every single grain of rice on my plate, he said the rice would cry. I was like, oh, hell no.
Oh, no. You're like, no.
So, and he would get mad at me when I don't finish like all the rice. I'm like, fuck. So I kind of had to like get out of that habit of like, I have to consume everything on this plate. Or like lick the plate clean and all that. But yeah, and also when you take leftovers home, you're able to save a little money because you could save that food for later on or the next day.
And it's so easy, like the next day, if you got, I don't know, like a side dish, maybe you ate your main thing, then I'll always be like, okay, I have some chicken in the fridge, I'll just combine the chicken with that, and boom, I have another meal. You get 2 meals out of it.
And if you have like chicken wings or whatever, I love chicken wings right now. That's like the third time I mentioned it in this podcast.
Chicken wings and hot Cheetos today.
Hot Cheetos is all
Brandon is talking about.
Yeah, so if I get chicken wings, I'll just toss in the air fryer.
Yeah.
It's easy money right there. And the fifth rule to keep in mind when you go out to eat is keep track of how many drinks you have throughout the whole dinner. Because I know the norm, I don't know if it's statistically proven, but the norm is when a couple or friends go out to eat at a restaurant, they'll order 1 drink before their food comes in, and then 1 more drink when they're in between their meal and appetizer or towards the end of their meal. So it's usually 2 drinks
each per session.
Yeah.
And that can add up because people don't really realize, like, okay, if it's like a cocktail, the stuff they're mixing it with, like the simple syrup, all these things can be pretty high calorie.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So people don't always take that into account.
Yeah, exactly. And you also want to keep track because the more you drink, the more looser you feel a little, and that means you might order a few more wings.
Might make some impulsive decisions. Do you want the 6-piece or the 12? I already know Brandon said that so many times in his life. We're going the 12-piece.
Oh my God, no! I remember I was on a dinner date with my girlfriend, and then there was like I think it was a cheesecake. I was like 3 drinks down, and then we already finished like our entree or whatever. And when it came to dessert, me and my girlfriend, we couldn't decide like which cheesecake we wanted. So I was like,
let's get both.
I know, no, literally. I was like 3 drinks down. I was like, you know what? To make it even, and so we won't miss out on the opportunity to experience, I'll get the strawberry one, you get the cookies and cream one.
And in the moment, you're like, wow, I'm being so generous, so smart, so wise. But then later, it's like, well, I didn't need all that.
Yep. And I will say, when you're drunk and when you're eating something, you actually eat more than you're full or when you're satisfied.
It's a lot harder to listen
Yeah.
to your hunger fullness cues when
Yeah.
you're intoxicated, for sure.
Exactly. That's why some people, after they go out and drink and they eat like a whole pizza or a whole burrito to themselves, they'll probably throw up.
Wow.
Just because they're scarfing it down so much and they're already like inebriated that they'll
Yeah.
just yak that shit.
I mean, that's like the classic San Diego thing, I feel like, is get drunk and go get a California
Yeah.
burrito.
I mean, I've definitely done that.
And of course,
Yeah,
but oftentimes it's like you're not really hungry for that burrito.
Yeah.
It's just your drunk brain, you have really high hunger signals.
Yep, your inhibitions are down.
Inhibitions are down too, so you're gonna make those calls.
Exactly. But yeah, those are the 5 rules of what to follow when you're going out to eat. Rule number 1, easy on the appetizers and desserts. Share that shit or don't get it at all. Rule number 2, prioritize the protein. Chicken first.
Number 3, focus on the social atmosphere. Take your time. Get to know your girlfriend. You don't know her name yet? You've been dating her 2 years.
Number 4, take the leftovers home, save some money, feed it to your roommates, even if you don't want it, or give it to your dog if they're able to eat it. I don't know.
And then give your dog like tiramisu.
Oh shit. And then rule number 5, keep track of how many drinks you have because those calories add up and your inhibitions go down. You're gonna order another 5 or 6 more pizzas to go. I'm just kidding. You probably won't do that. But those are the 5 rules. And my name's Brandon.
My name's Gabe.
We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.